ever felt so foggy, so emotionally flat, that even the word tired feels small compared to what you actually carry? What if a single small sensory moment could begin to pull you back toward feeling and clarity? Welcome to The Healing Pen, a podcast about the power of creative writing to help you process stress, reconnect with yourself, and write your way through burnout. I'm Corey Janke, Amazon best-selling author, leadership coach, pharmacist, and someone who believes that sometimes the words we put on the page can help us heal the parts of ourselves we've been too busy to hear. If you've been carrying too much for too long, feeling emotionally exhausted, disconnected, or unsure how to make sense of what you're feeling, you're in the right place. This is a space for reflection, honesty, healing, and the occasional practical nudge to write yourself a better story. Let me tell you a quick scene. A few months into a brutal schedule, I was on a 12-hour shift, coffee that tasted like hope, fluorescent lights, a dozen pages to sign, and I felt nothing. Not even anger, just a kind of numb autopilot. Then, during a 5-minute break, a coworker handed me a paper cup of chai tea. I remember the steam on my wrist, the cinnamon smell rising, the first sip that was too hot, and then perfect. For the first time that day, I noticed my shoulders drop. A tiny relief moved through me, like a crack appearing in the fog. It was nothing dramatic. No life-changing revelation. Just steam, spice, warmth, an ordinary cup of tea. But those small sensory details, heat on skin, the scent at the back of my throat, became the doorway back to feeling. That tiny moment led me to write a single sentence in my notebook. I am more tired of pretending than I am willing to admit. That sentence started a chain of small choices that mattered. Burnout often shows up as fog, flattened emotions, muted senses, resistance to slowing down. You might know something is wrong, but the words don't come, or the words feel clinical and distant. Naming that struggle, emotional numbness, disconnection, a loss of small pleasures, helps. And sensory writing is one of the most direct, low-stakes ways to cut through that fog. It asks less of your theory and more of your experience. Here's the core idea. When we name what we actually notice with our 5 senses, we reconnect the body and the story. Sensory details are concrete anchors. They make feeling visible and give your brain something specific to follow. Instead of asking, "How do I feel?" a big vague question, you ask, "What sound am I hearing? What does my skin feel right now?" Those answers are small and accessible, and they often contain the truth that the fog is hiding. We'll do a short, timeboxed practice I call the 5 Senses Rescue. It's a micro-story. Pick one small, real moment, something as simple as a cup of tea, a street light, a chair at your kitchen table, and spend a few focused minutes describing it with each sense. Then write one honest insight sentence and one tiny next step. Low stakes, repeatable, and portable. Before we begin, a quick safety note. If describing sensations brings up strong memories or you feel overwhelmed at any point, pause. Close your notebook, take 3 slow breaths, or switch to a neutral object, like the sound of your own breathing or the weight of your palm on a table. This practice is optional and adaptable. You can do all 5 senses or just one sense for 3 minutes. Okay? We'll use a 3-5-3 framework. 3 minutes to place the scene, 5 minutes to move through the 5 senses, and 3 minutes to write one sentence that names an insight and a tiny next step. I'll cue pacing as we go. If you want to follow along with a downloadable prompt card, visit CoreyJonke.com after the episode. Start now by choosing one small moment you can see in your mind. Maybe it's the cup of tea I described, or the chair in your kitchen, or the brief walk from your car to your office. If nothing comes to mind, choose something neutral. The sound of rain, the weight of your keys. Ready? 3 minutes. Set the scene. Describe only where you are and what is happening. Notice time of day, light, how close you are to the object, how long the moment lasted. Begin now. I'll give you a gentle cue when 3 minutes are up. Now, 5 minutes. Move through the senses. Take each sense one at a time. Taste, if applicable. If not, say not applicable. Sight. What exact colors or shapes are present? Sound. What tone, volume, rhythm? Smell. Is there a memory attached to this scent? Touch. Texture, temperature, pressure. Internal sense. What subtle body sensation do you notice? Tightness, looseness, warmth. Write what you notice without judging it. If 5 minutes feels long, do 2 minutes. If it feels short, extend to 10. I'll give you another cue in a moment. Now, for the last 3 minutes, write one honest sentence that names what this sensory scene revealed. It might be a feeling, I am more tired than I realized, or a small truth, I miss quiet mornings. Then write one tiny next step you could take in the next 24 hours, like drink a real cup of tea with no screens, or set my alarm 10 minutes earlier to sit on the porch. Keep it specific and doable. If you're still writing, take your time. If you finished, good. Notice how your body feels now compared to before the practice. Maybe the fog is a little thinner. Maybe a single honest line arrived. Either way, this was not therapy. It's a practical reset. The power is in repetition. Do this micro-story daily or whenever overwhelm flattens you. A few variations to keep this practice fresh. Do a one-sense rescue when pressed for time, 3 minutes on sound alone. Or try a reverse rescue. Start with the insight sentence, then find the sensory details that support it. You can also collect these single sentences into a short truths list to read when the fog returns. Remember, you do not need perfect words. You just need honest ones. Sensory detail gives you permission to be small and specific, which is exactly what feels manageable when burnout is loud. Celebrate the tiny crack in the fog. Habitually collecting those cracks adds up. If this episode gave you a moment of clarity or a line you want to keep, I hope you'll use it. Visit CoreyYonke.com for a downloadable 5 Senses Rescue Prompt card and suggested variations you can print or save to your phone. If you found value here, please subscribe, share this episode with someone who might need a small rescue, and leave a review. Those simple actions help more people find this practice. And one last line to keep with you. If you want a better life, you have to write yourself a better story. Take a breath, pick up the pen, and trust that even a few honest sensory words can begin to change the story. I'll see you next time on The Healing Pen. Thanks for spending this time with me. Thanks for listening. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. This is The Healing Pen.